The alien mosquito cut through the clothes and burrowed right into it. Jerry realized that something was wrong and began to swing his body non-stop. In the blink of an eye, the alien mosquito flew into the mask. Jerry screamed in shock. The companion immediately rushed over to help, but the alien mosquito disappeared. Jerry suddenly frowned, feeling that something was wrong. The alien mosquito went right into Jerry's asshole. Subsequently, Jerry was sent to the emergency room. At this time, the alien mosquito had already crawled onto the leg, and the doctor suggested amputating the leg immediately, but Jerry was very resistant. At this moment, the alien mosquito crawled towards the thigh again. When Jerry saw it, he panicked instantly and ordered the doctor to amputate his limb quickly. Seeing that the alien mosquitoes were about to arrive, the doctor immediately picked up the pliers, turned Jerry over and pressed him on the bed. Then take off the pants. The doctor started directly, digging hard into Jerry's as Jerry howled in pain. The doctor finally took out the alien mosquito, and it didn't take long for the alien mosquito to die. This is how it happened. It turned out that just a few days ago, Smith was doing cardiopulmonary resuscitation for his girlfriend, Jessie, when suddenly a meteorite fell from the sky and was about to hit this side. Smith was so scared that he ran away, and the meteorite hit the ground heavily. After an explosion, a small crater was left on the ground. The next day, Jerry brought geologist Jones to the scene, and Smith described the situation last night to them. Later, the two came to the cave where the meteorite fell, picked up the hammer, and knocked it a few times, and an unknown liquid flowed out of it, which made the two of them suddenly stupid and immediately decided to take off a piece. After returning to the laboratory, Jones immediately started to study the meteorite, observing through the microscope. These cells were dividing rapidly and then formed two separate systems. The sight stunned Jones. When Jones observed again, tens of thousands of cells had split and the tempered glass was broken. Jones hardly looked up relevant information and found that this kind of cell actually had tens of thousands of chromosomes, and its reproductive ability was extremely strong, so it was basically determined that it was not a species on Earth. The next day, Jones came to the crater again with a group of researchers, and there were even more amazing discoveries here. Jones pushed aside the clouds on the ground, and the ground was densely packed with bugs. Jones grabbed one with pliers, but the bug couldn't adapt to the air and died instantly. They put a few strips in the airtight jar, and suddenly found that the bugs were multiplying continuously, and after only a few hours, the purification process of millions of years was completed. Realizing the seriousness of the matter, they decided to explore the cave again, but here has been controlled by the military. No one is allowed to pass. In desperation, they had to find another way. At night, the two changed into military clothes and sneaked into the cave, only to find that there were many birds and beasts inside. What's even more bizarre is that it not only has 9 long legs, but also has 2 small heads, which were eaten by a giant on the spot. This scene stunned both of them. When they were about to leave, Jerry seemed to have stepped on something. He raised his foot to see what kind of disgusting thing it was. The aliens quickly devoured the corpses on the ground. The two were going to catch one to go back to study, and Jerry soon took a fancy to a single one. At this time, the alien creatures are already ready for battle. Suddenly, a giant foot fell from the sky, and the two were shocked. It turned out to be a giant alien creature, which grabbed the small creature and stuffed it into its mouth. At this moment, the military personnel rushed to the scene and found that the two were wreaking havoc and planned to arrest them on the spot. Fortunately, their relationship was strong enough, which solved the misunderstanding. At night, Mako came to the river to wash his handkerchief. His wife Milan came to him suddenly, but Mako didn't know the monster behind him. When Mako turned his head to look, the monster jumped up. It was too late for Mako to run. Just like that, it was dragged into the water all the way. Jones brought the monster's body back to the laboratory, but strangely, the monster died of suffocation. At the same time, a cute monster appeared in Mary's house. Seeing this, Mandy pulled out a pistol and pointed it at the monster, but before he could shoot, the monster died by itself. Soon, Jones and others rushed to Mary's house for further investigation. Smith suddenly ran to tell several people that he had a new discovery nearby. When everyone arrived, they found that the grass was full of dinosaur corpses. Jerry judged for the first time that these creatures were not adapted to life with oxygen, so they died gradually. As soon as the words fell, a dinosaur suddenly woke up. The dinosaur struggled to get up, and after a while of retching, it actually spit out a dinosaur. Immediately afterwards, a small dinosaur broke out of its shell in an instant, completed the evolution in the blink of an eye, and was able to adapt to the outside air. Just when several people were puzzled, the dinosaur flapped its wings and flew towards the city. The dinosaur directly smashed through the glass and came to the shopping mall, and the people were so scared that they turned their heads and ran away. On the other side, Lisa was changing clothes in the fitting room, but people outside kept knocking on the door. Lisa opened the door and was instantly taken aback. The dinosaur grabbed Lisa and flew with Lisa in the air. Fortunately, Jerry arrived in time, and Jones shot the dinosaur successfully. But the monster alarmed Mayor Edward. While they were discussing countermeasures, Jerry and the others came to the base and told Edward what had happened. For the safety of the citizens, it was decided to use incendiary bombs to destroy the monsters. Not long after, they arranged a large amount of ammunition inside, and after detonating the incendiary bomb, the entire base instantly became a sea of flames. The monsters in the cave continued to absorb heat and gradually became larger in size, and finally broke through the ground directly. At a critical moment, Jones suddenly drove a fire truck and drove straight to the monster. It turned out that through experiments, they deduced this biological fear chemical element selenium according to the elements on the periodic table of elements, and our commonly used shampoo contains a large amount of selenium. Looking at the huge monster in front of them, they have been looking for the monster's weakness and finally found it at the last moment. Jerry immediately raised the tube, inserted it into the monster's body, and then poured the whole truckload of shampoo into the monster's body. The monster can't take it anymore. With an explosion, the monster was directly blown into pieces. At the end of the film, Jones and the others became heroes in the city, and Mayor Edward also praised their heroic behavior. So this movie tells us that if you learn mathematics, physics, and chemistry well, you can travel all over the world in a reasonable way.